Hello. So this will be a short video to go along with the cosmological argument video. This video is going to be explaining a little bit of the intelligent design argument. The intelligent design argument includes a lot of other parts of other arguments. Whereas the cosmological argument says that there has to be an uncaused cause, right? The intelligent design argument really refines that more in saying that that uncaused cause is an intelligent being. So it couldn't have just been an event that happened that created everything. It had to be an intelligent being. Again, still not necessarily the Judeo-Christian God in this argument. That's a lot of people would criticize a lot of these because any religion could fulfill some of these arguments, but this is an argument that is commonly used by Christians, including Sir Isaac Newton, even a lot of Christian philosophers. Sir Isaac Newton actually believed in the watchmaker analogy, which I'll get into in a bit. But the intelligent design argument states that because of how complex everything is, that there had to be an intelligent creator of all of those things, and it uses things from science, it uses things from philosophy, it uses theism, and it pulls from a lot of sources in order to come to this conclusion. And I actually believe it's a very good argument. I mean, obviously, I'm a believer in Christ myself, but it is a very good argument. So getting into it, there are some main concepts in the intelligent design argument. Originally, this just used to be called creationism, but when evolution started coming about, the name the term came about, intelligent design, to try to appeal to the secular world a little bit more. And so if you look throughout history, the term creationism and intelligent design start to replace each other. And so in debate settings. And so some of the concepts of intelligent design, you have irreducible complexity, specified complexity, a fine-tuned universe, which kind of gets into the cosmological argument, but then you also have obviously the intelligent designer, and so that has to be a person, right? And as a Christian, I would argue that that person is the capital G God. So first of all, irreducible complexity. Michael Behe would say that if you go all the way down to the base components of everything, and you see how complex just these base components are, that would say that and they all have their specific functions and everything, since they are irreducibly complex, then this would say that there had to be a designer that put that together. These things could not simply put themselves together. Then there's specified complexity, where it's basically saying that everything is again so complex, but everything has each individual function, and all of these things go together perfectly, that it'd be very hard for those things to just come about on their own. And then we have the fine-tuned universe, and this is kind of pretty cool when you get to on a universal scale, when you see that the solar system is set up the way it is. And basically only the Earth in the solar system has life on it that we know of. But they've talked about this region around a star, and it has to be a specific star. They call it the Goldilocks zone, and a planet has to form and be about the right size in order to have life on it. And it has to be not too close to the sun, but not too far away from the sun. It has to be big enough to have enough gravity, to have water, and then for life to even start on that planet. It's so complex and so specific that it could not have been by accident. And so that's the basics of that. And then from all of that, we would draw that there is definitely an intelligent designer, because all of these complexities cannot come about just simply on their own. And then so there's a watch argument. I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit, but if you were to take apart a watch and you were to scatter all of its pieces, no one in their right mind would say that that watch could put itself back together, given no matter how much time it had. Also, a watch could not simply make itself from the base components. It had to be someone to first make the pieces, and then another person to put the pieces together. I mean, or sometimes the same person, but it had to all be put together. The watch could not simply make itself. And then when you think about this, a lot of people think about, well, I learned in my textbook that evolution happened or whatever, and well, you look at your textbook itself, right? And so they would say that life could put itself together, but they would never say that the textbook could write itself. And our DNA is infinitely more complex, and so no matter how many billions of years, a textbook couldn't write itself. So why would we say that our DNA could do the same? And so that's basically kind of what that's saying. And then there's other things that go into this as well. Newton was a big believer in this. Isaac Newton was a big believer in this, and one of his laws of thermodynamics is the law of entropy. And the law of entropy states basically that as things cool, right, or eventually things will lose energy. And as they lose energy, it becomes more chaotic. It takes energy to organize things. And so you think about even like an ice cube, right? Now, not necessarily cooling, but it will go down to the temperature surrounding it, right? So if it's warmer outside, that ice cube is going to melt, right? Or if it's cold outside, the ice cube will freeze. But it takes energy to have that be an ice cube and organize, right? Eventually it's going to melt, and water is its chaotic state. Well, the same thing is happening on a universal scale. We say that the universe is spreading apart, and that is absolute chaos. And so it's interesting that with everything else, we are willing to say that things become more chaotic over time without something to hold them together, or someone to hold them together. But many people are not willing to say that about evolution. Somehow evolution is the exception to it. Through natural selection or whatever, things are somehow able to organize themselves more when everything else that we can observe says that things get more chaotic. And so this would point towards an intelligent designer, just like that watch cannot put itself together, but needs a person to put it together. There's many other arguments like the watch, but this argument goes really well with the cosmological argument, because if you say that there's a first cause, right? Well, and when you look at how complex the universe is, then that first cause has to be a thinking, intelligent being in order to put things together in order. And so I hope that wasn't too confusing. This kind of goes with the other video. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.